coming out of Libya. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees now says migrants in the North African nation are paying to be allowed into detention centres. Their hope is to be resettled outside Libya and to escape being abused and kidnapped. Here's Laura Walubengo with that story.
The situation in migrant centres in Libya has been described as depressing. Apart from the heat, sexual and physical abuses are often reported. However, as the situation in the North African nation became dire, these centres are seen by desperate migrants not as one of the options, but as the only option to survive.
I can tell you there are equally people in need outside detention center. So we try to balance more and more resettlement from detention and resettlement from outside detention. Because inside detention center, it's also, you have two categories of people. You have people who have been intercepted when they try to leave Libya by sea on boats, and they have been brought back to detention center.
Since Eastern Commander Khalifa Haftar launched an offensive for Tripoli in April, migrants have not been spared. Those found outside migrant centres have been targeted, while others have been forced to fight for various militias. There are also those who have been kidnapped for ransom and tortured. But the July airstrike on the Tadura detention centre in Tripoli, in which over 50 migrants were killed, exerted pressure on the international community to have migrants relocated. The hopes of being resettled in different nations is also making it attractive for hopeless migrants to even pay to be allowed into detention centres.
Sometimes they feel better protected in detention center than outside detention center, because some nationalities outside detention center are targeted by human traffickers, are kidnapped, and then you have extortion, you have torture. So some people don't feel safe in many urban centers in Libya. So some of them prefer to be detained, even if the conditions are not good in those detention centers. Others try to bribe their way to get inside the detention center in the hope that UNHCR will resettle them.
Libya hosts up to 45,000 registered refugees. However, migrant numbers are estimated to be over 650,000. These are the migrants who survived boat accidents in the Mediterranean or were intercepted while attempting to cross the sea. UNHCR is calling for long-term solutions and funding. But in the midst of migrants held here, there are those who are waiting for a chance to attempt the risky journey across the Mediterranean yet again. Laura Walubengo, CGTN.